At this time, I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee meeting for June 20th, 2023 to order. Please call the roll.
Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Burge.
Here.
Counselor Walker.
Here.
Counselor Gozick.
Here.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of our June 5th, 2023 meeting? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Gozick.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Is there any old business to come before this committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business under communication. Item number 1, the Zoning and Planning Office has received a request for use of public space submitted by Jessica LeGray, owner of a single-family dwelling located at 171 East 11th Street, in order to install new landscaping. I know Mr. McGann is not here today, but this was a pretty straightforward request. Any questions or concerns from the council? No? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Walker, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 2, Timothy Rice, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, has received a request from Patty Lowery in order to replace an existing memorial bench in honor of her parents located in Brightbeck Park. Would like to change this request a little bit. The family has requested that the city provide them with the old bench, and because technically they're donated to the city, so it's city property, we have to amend the resolution to include that provision. So if the committee is agreeable to that, I would take an amendment, a motion to amend it to include providing the old bench back to the family. Motion by Counselor Walker, and could I get a second for the motion? Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Okay, so that request will include the amendment. Perfect. Item number 3, the Office of Economic Development has received a request from Constellation for use of public space at Brightbeck Park to hold Constellation's Employee Cornhole Tournament on Thursday, July 20th, 2023, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., as well as a waiver of the noise ordinance. I see we do have people here from Constellation. If you'd like to speak, you're welcome to. The council's had a request, or the chance to review your request. Are there any questions or concerns on it? Okay. All right, great. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Gozick, Counselor Burge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 4, the Office of Economic Development has received a request from Paul Palucci of Soccer Tots to host a toddler soccer program on Monday evenings from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. from September 11th to October 16th, 2023. This is a rescind and replace. There was just an issue with a rain date, so we're just going to, if you're okay with it, we're going to remove this one and put the new one in. Take a motion from Counselor Walker. Second, Counselor Gozick.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 5, the Office of Economic Development has received a request from Paul Palucci of Soccer Tots to host a toddler soccer program on Monday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m. from June 5th to August 7th, 2023, skipping the week of Harborfest. And any questions or concerns on this? Okay, could I have a motion, please? Counselor Walker, Counselor Gozick.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 6, the Department of Public Works and Parks and Recreation has received a request from Laura Brazak on behalf of the Dawn Ladies for use of public space and a waiver of the noise ordinance in order to host an event at Brightbeck Park on Sunday, August 6, 2023. This is a rescind and replace. Any questions on this? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Gozick, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yep.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 7, the Office of Economic Development received a request from the Oswego County Federal Credit Union to organize and host movies in the park to be held on June 28, 2023 in Washington Square Park. Again, this is a rescind and replace. Any questions or concerns? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Walker, Counselor Burge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Gozick, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
All right, at this time, I'd like to open the Administrative Services Committee meeting. Please call the roll.
Counselor Corradino.
Here.
Counselor McBearty. Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Plunkett.
Here.
Counselor Burge.
Here.
I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the June 5th, 2023 committee meeting. Counselor Hill, Counselor Plunkett.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor McBearty.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Any old business? Seeing none. Item number 1, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests authorization for the city chamberlain to complete a budget amendment to the Parks Contracted Services budget account in the amount of $14,436 for contracted maintenance fees. I don't see anybody here, but I will point out that this was for two items. One was in my ward, one was in Councilor Plunkett's ward. We resurfaced the basketball court at Shapiro Park. That was part of the expense, and there were some repairs to the lights that we've done in the past for the Legends softball complex. So that's the total of $14,436. Anybody have any questions or concerns from the council on this one? From the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Hill.
Councilor Corodino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Plunkett.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Item 2, City Clerk Mark Tesorario is requesting authorization for the city chamberlain to complete a transfer of funds in the amount of $6,000 from the general fund contingent account to the clerk's personal service account to cover the cost of a temporary records office intern. Mr. Tesorario, would you like to step up to the mic and give us your sales pitch?
So I think Greg made a mistake. It's actually supposed to be 600,000. Just kidding. So we have 142 years of birth and death certificates that we keep in a safe downstairs. So a lot of them are starting to decay. So we've hired some temps, college students and whatnot, local people, to come in with the budget money that we have and do some scanning of the documents. So we're about 20% through. We've gotten to the big books, which opened up, they're probably like this big. So you can't really take them and put them on a scanner, plus they kind of disintegrate when you do it. So we bought a scanner that has like an arm, goes up like this, and it takes a picture. So that's how we're doing it. I think you came in to check that out. So that's what we're going to use the money to hire people to help us with that. So we bring in $65,000 a year on birth and death certificates, so we are making some money off of it. The new laws for the enhanced birth certificate, they really increased demand, so we don't want to have a backup. So once they're scanned, when people come in, by the time they fill out the application, we can already have it done if it's in the computer without going in the safe to look it up and everything. So that's a big plus to me. Some states require the long form, which is actually you have to have a scan of the document. So some of these books are so fragile that I'm afraid that, you know, if we do one more long form on one of these, they'll be gone forever, you know. So like I said, we have 3 great interns. We try to hire like local people when they're on college break, or right now we have someone who's local who is on break, who you met, and she's very good. So we're just gonna keep, you know, going away at this and trying to get up. We have 2,000 boxes in the basement, banker boxes of things we have to keep permanently, which the goal would be to eventually have everything scanned. We have a retention schedule from the state. Some things have to be kept forever, and that's 2,000 boxes. So this is going to be an ongoing project. We used to have a records clerk that was a paid position up until 5 years ago, but you know, to cut taxes and everything, we got rid of that position because we didn't really have the ability to scan with the types of machines we have at that time. So that's what we're going to do with the money. Any questions or concerns?
I have one question
Sure.
myself. You're asking for $6,000 for this particular job, and it sounds like that you still have many more years or
Yeah,
months?
so every
to
year I
do
put
this?
$5,000 in the budget.
So that was my question. Do you
Yeah.
budget for this type of work?
Yeah. So we had a little bit less this year, so I learned from this experience with now having the new machinery to put more for next year. So hopefully next year we won't have to come back and ask for more. This is just to try to get at least half the birth and death certificates done this year, and I think we could do that if we have the extra money. Because I have some people that want to come in at Christmas, and I think we could probably hire 2 or maybe even 3 people with the money.
And I did take the tour, and you showed me the equipment, and I thought it was really very efficient. Can you share with us why we're not having current staff do this? Because you didn't explain
Sure.
it in the demo that you showed me. Why do we have current employees do it?
So when you get the books out and then you have the machine, you know, it's a process that you can't really be interrupted if somebody comes in to like get a birth certificate, like, oh, let me put this on hold, and then you don't remember where you were. So we're obviously not going to put the public and be like, oh, can you wait, I'm scanning this page. So it's really a process that you have to be focused on, and sometimes it has to be done in the basement, which, of course, we can't have the staff in the basement all the time if there's customers, so that's the reason.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or concerns from the council on this one? From the public? Can I have a motion, please? Counselor Plunkett, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
yes,
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item 3, Chris Baker, Director of Information Technology, requests authorization for the City of Chamberlain to complete a budget amendment to the computer contracted services account in the amount of $162,428 for remote piloted drones and airspace monitoring. Mr. Baker, you're up.
All right, good evening, counselors. We're looking to put 2 autonomous drones in the city, one on the police department, one on the fire department, that are housed in weatherproof boxes. They'll charge the batteries so that we can stop sending our personnel up on the roof at the police department or out in, some not great weather to try and get some of these things taken off, to be able to respond to scenes faster, assist with, locating any missing persons. All of our drones have thermal imaging cameras on them. They've also been used for many fires, and the airspace monitoring is to prevent any sort of incident where we could potentially crash into a manned aircraft. Worst case scenario, it could crash into an airplane, or crash into another drone, cause property damage, cause, potential loss of life. So with all of these things put in place, we'll be able to essentially keep the public safer, get eyes on scenes faster, and, ideally be able to fight fires and find, any missing persons or anything like that. So that's what we're looking to do with this money.
One quick question for me on this. I think the public is aware that we do have drones currently.
Correct.
So can you explain to us why what we have now is not as good as what you're proposing?
What we have now are drones that are packaged up in boxes. We need to, go on scene. If we don't have somebody on scene that is a pilot at the time, we would have to call somebody in, potentially causing overtime. They have to locate the drone, take it to the scene, unbox it, and deploy it. And at that, we're wasting minutes, hours, potentially, depending on how far away they are. But the average response time to get a pilot in is anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. With these boxes, we are able to remote pilot these drones from home, from the office, right from the desk at the police department. Ideally, what we'll be doing is having the pilots that are on at the time. We've got 4 pilots at the police department, and I think 3 currently at the fire department. They'll be able to get them in the air within roughly 30 seconds to a minute and respond much faster, not having to, call people in or find the equipment and deploy it manually out in the field. These will be ready to go. They will automatically land back in the boxes when they're done, charge the batteries. They have heaters and coolers in there to make sure that the equipment is climate controlled. And they also have a heater around the unit itself to melt snow and ice and make sure that they're ready to go, almost as instantaneously as possible.
So basically, you're saying 24/7, 365 days a year?
Correct. No vacation, no sick time, no nothing. They're always ready to go.
Very good. Any questions from the council on this one? From the public?
Where did you say they keep these when they're at rest?
Kurt, right now, or? Right now, they're boxed up. We've got one in the police department, all set in a box, ready to go, one in the fire department, and a box ready to go for them to deploy. These boxes themselves will be permanently mounted to the roof so that we don't have to manually take them off and have them, have somebody manually. Currently, we need to have 2 people to deploy a drone, one to fly the drone, one to watch the drone, because you have to have eyes on it at all times. This will eliminate the need to have people in the field.
So you're saying these are on the roof, these drones?
They aren't currently. They will be if this is to pass and be put into place.
I guess what I'm asking you is, it's going to take 2 guys to go up and up on the roof and start to fly them, the pilot, and
It
that's
does.
what I'm asking.
It does currently take 2 people to get them up there and deploy them, actual personnel. with a program like this, we will not need to send them to the roof, and they will not need to actually go out and deploy the drone manually. It will be able to take off because it's in a ready-to-go state at all
So
times.
that'll just take off by itself, well, when they call, right?
When an actual pilot will need to put in the address and fly it, they won't be doing it on their own.
Oh, no, I understand.
Yep.
Oh, cool. It's like, it's like space, heavy stuff.
It is.
All right, anybody else? Yes, Counselor Walker.
With our beautiful climate here, what do we do during the winter?
They can fly during the weather. They are weather rated as long as it's, not coming down within a certain rate. I don't know what that actual rate is, but we do fly them in the winter. As long as it's not actual like sleet ice where it would ice up the props, they're ready to go.
I'm saying the box itself, or does it melt off?
Oh, it will. The boxes themselves are heated internally and externally, so it'll melt the ice and make sure that they can open up.
That's what I was looking
Yep.
for. Thank you.
Starting to sound like George Jetson here.
Boy, oh boy.
Any other comments or concerns from the council? Yes, Counselor Plunkett.
So the city's not going to be on the hook for this complete 162,000 plus. You're going to be getting grants, right?
We've got multiple grants that we have applied for. One is through the port security. We have one through Brookfield that they have awarded for $30,000 over the next 3 years. So we're going to be getting $10,000 a year for the next 3 years for the program. And with the fact that we partner with the county, the DroneSense software portion of it, that's approximately $17,000, we don't need to pay for currently. But I have spoke with Chief Cady. He has authorized me to have Officer Lummis apply for grants for us. So ideally, I'll be able to get this program up and running and within the next year or two have it fully funded by grant money. There's a lot of grant money available for drone programs right now.
Very good, thank you.
To tag into what Counselor Plunkett said, so this 162,000 is for the next 12 months, or?
So this is the initial purchase of the two drones and the boxes, which are $34,999 each. And it's $70,000 annually for the airspace monitoring. The ongoing yearly cost at this point in time is just over $88,000 that'll be budgeted for next year and the year after. With any grant money that we get, we'll be able to reduce that number, year after year. But that is the initial purchase and 12 months of subscription to airspace monitoring.
All right, thanks for clearing that up. Anybody else? Yes.
Is it assumed then that there will be a pilot on every shift, or will someone have to be called in if there isn't, and thereby waste time?
Well, if we don't have a pilot on that shift, we won't actually need to call them in with this. They'll be able to call that pilot, and we'll be able to remote pilot it from home, or even if someone's on vacation, they'll be able to get it on their laptop and fly it from wherever they would be. The initial testing when we did this, the company actually, we were flying the drones out of California while we were here in Oswego. We don't currently have a pilot on every shift, but during the week, Monday through Friday, we have 3 pilots on, myself, Steve Coffey, and Sergeant Josh LaRue. And we have 2 pilots at the police department that are on the evening shift, and they're on a rotation. So there could be an instance of 1 or 2 days a week randomly we might not have somebody, but we also have the fire department that has pilots as well, and they're on a 24-hour shift. So ideally, we won't really be calling anybody in. We'll be able to take care of it with the people we have on staff. Yeah. Awesome.
I'm sorry, we done? Okay. What are we gonna do with the old drones?
So the old drones, I'm looking into a trade-in program so that we can try and get some money back to use for other accessories like newer cameras, replacement batteries, and things like that, so that they don't go to waste.
Yeah, I was wondering on that, yeah, because they're pretty expensive.
They can be expensive, yes.
One more thing that you didn't touch upon. I mean, I don't think the public really understands or knows how much we've used the drone program so far. I mean, without getting into any topics that are sensitive and are police matters, but,
Yep.
I mean, can you share with us some of the examples of what we've used drones for in the last year or two?
Well, within the last year or two, we've had multiple fires that they've been used for to assist finding hot spots in different locations. There's been countless missing persons. We've had children that have run away. There have been patients who have escaped from the mental hospital that we've had to find. And they have been used on countless warrants and things like that at the police department. Within the first 8 days of June, I think we had 8 flight hours, and I can't remember the number, 33 flights, I think, within the first 8 days of June. Just within this year, since we've implemented the Drone Sense program a year and a half ago, we've had over 1,100 flights.
So it's used, and it's not just something every once in a while that we use.
No, and with this, we're hoping to be able to use it on more of a daily basis versus, every couple of days. It's currently used, once every couple of days on average. We have been using it most mornings now to fly around in the river to check for fishermen, make sure everything's okay, and check for homeless that are camping out in the areas and stuff like that.
All right. In most cases, people don't even know they're there.
They don't. They fly at 400 feet. That's the altitude the FAA has a ceiling on, so we take them off, and they stay between 370 to 400 feet. At that height, you can almost not see it, and with a 200 times zoom, it can be a mile away, and we can see what's going on, so you won't even know it's in the area.
All right, very good. Anybody else? One last time? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor McBurney.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBearty.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Item 4, Timothy Rice, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, is requesting authorization for the mayor to sign an agreement for the Water Point Network Program used for the Department of Public Works water and sewer tracking mapping. I don't see Mr. Rice, but I do see Craig Rebior. Would you like to step up to the mic? Deputy Commissioner Rebior is here.
Good evening. WaterPoint Network, we've been using at Public Works for 6 years now. It's a mapping program for our infrastructure. We started with water. You can take a look at this. We actually, our first task was to map all the fire hydrants in the city, which we were successful in doing within the first 2 years. We've added valves, water mains. Now we've gone on to start tracking sewer mains, sanitary and storm mains. Very useful tool. The engineering office is going to implement, grab the data that we've collected with this and integrate it with their GIS mapping system that they're working on the 3rd floor. The agreement expired a year ago. The company has been gracious enough to waive that fee for the year, reduce it for, they waived the fee for a year and reduced the cost by 1 year's worth. Again, very, very valuable tool. If anyone would like to take a look at it.
What's the cost again?
I don't have the number in front of me. It was $23,000, I think, for the 5-year approximately.
Actually, I have it in front of me. I'm sorry. I thought you had it in front of you.
No, I don't.
$18,018, 5-year plan?
Yeah, that's a reduced rate. They took 1 year off to get to that 18,000.
All right.
And that was a clerical error on their part, so they weren't going to penalize us for not showing up last year and reminding us to renew.
Now, who's going to actually physically go out and do this mapping? Do you need to hire another person for this job?
No, the crews, sewer and water crews both have, there's 2 water crew trucks, 2 sewer crew trucks. Each truck has their own iPad. They map their own work each day, track the job they're working on. If we replace a fire hydrant, they log it in here, take a new picture of the new fire hydrant, take a picture of the valve, change update the information. Say we replace an old Cary fire hydrant from 1942 to a new Kennedy K81D. That information gets tracked, the date, the time. So each crew has an iPad in their truck. The water supervisor has an iPad in his truck. the sewer supervisor iPad, and I carry one as well for when I'm out in the field. If I'm out finding things myself, I can track and map things or check up on where we've been, what we've done, and what needs to be done.
I know that we used this program, like you said, a couple of years ago for the hydrant program, which my understanding is that was very beneficial because now the fire department, when they go to a scene, they know exactly where the closest fire hydrant is and which one is working.
Which one's working, which ones aren't, yes. And then we know which ones need to be fixed.
Right. Which is critical in a fire,
Yes, sir.
obviously. They have to
Yeah,
know that information.
We were able to map the working fire hydrants in the city and locate where we needed to go first, critical areas that didn't necessarily have the best service for putting out a fire, and able to go and work on those hydrants first and get those replaced. Assistant Chief Chago at the time worked with us closely on that, identifying where we needed to be. We were able to get everywhere in the city now has good fire coverage from fire hydrants because we started this program 6 years ago.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Revior here from the public? Can I have a motion, please? Counselor Hill, Counselor Plunkett.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes. Thank you.
Counselor McBurney.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Item number 5, City Engineer Jeff Hinderleiter requests authorization for the mayor to sign amendment number 2 with GHD Consulting Services Incorporated in the amount of $613,300 to provide bidding and construction phase services for the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant Blower Improvements Project. Mr. Hinderleiter?
These other departments like being on the agenda when I have things because their money seems so small compared to the things I show up to ask for. So this is, if you remember, the city received a grant from the EFC and from the DEC called a Green Infrastructure Grant, the GIGP grant. And that was to make kind of energy improvements to our East Side sewer plant. The primary improvement is the blowers, and it's probably our highest electrical use in the city. They run 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, keeping the tanks aerated. And so any sort of efficiency we can get there turns into a cost savings on the utility side. And so we had to show that, and we received the grant for that. It was a $1 million grant from EFC. And so we have been pursuing the design of that project, pursuing to see what that project would look like. Our initial estimates here are for what this project is going to cost when it's ready is $6.1 million. It'll be spread over 2 years worth of construction time. The cost isn't just the blowers, it's then having to rework it into the tanks. But then it's, in order to avoid an explosion-proof blower, because of the age of the facility and its square footage, we have to also introduce better ventilation to prevent us having to buy a really expensive blower. And so this project also includes an HVAC system and some new kind of safety venting to make sure we're getting the air changes per hour. We have talked to the EFC through the Environmental Bonding Act that was passed by the state. This project is, from their eyes, one that is kind of ahead of the game and one they're interested in throwing more grant money at. We're not sure what that number is, but we have applied for that grant that has been submitted last week. And so that 6.1 is going to come down what the local share will be. We're also then looking at bonding it through EFC, which typically is 0% for us as a hardship community. So what's before you is for GHD to take it. We've paid them to design the project. This amendment is to go to bid and then to build, to actually have them for construction services. So it seems high, and part of that is because we're having to pay administrative staff for 2 years, essentially, from when the contract would be awarded to when it would be completed. And so if you look in the breakdown of that, you'll see that the construction administration is over half of this, $324,700. The bid phase itself is only $10,600. So if we bid it and for some reason we don't want to do the job, we're not on the hook for the remainder. And so we'll have to come back to award that contract. So this would just authorize, kind of get this fee structure in place. You'll see that there's also a cost to have a resident project representative. That's to put somebody from GHD in-house to monitor the project and to make sure that they're kind of taking the notes, making sure things are following to spec, that things are happening, and also that things are conforming to EFC so we can get our money back at the end. And then the last line in there is for programming services. These type of systems are intelligent, so they have to be programmed and integrated into our SCADA systems so that we can actually use them. So GHD includes that as a service within what they do. So that would be something that if we didn't utilize GHD, we would have to bid that out, or that would have to be a subcontractor on the contract side. And rather than put it in the construction costs, we can tuck it in with these costs, which has been our practice. So the total change order or the amendment that I'm asking for is $613,300, which will bring total design fees or total engineering fees to $796,200.
Okay, very good. Any questions from the council for Mr. Hindeleiter on this one? From the public? I think we talked about that $6,000 for the clerk's office longer. Can I have a motion, please? Counselor Plunkett, Counselor McBurney.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBurney.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Item 6, the city clerk's office has received an application from Philip Gordon and Sons Incorporated, located at 89 East 12th Street, for a renewal of their junk license. Is there anybody here to speak to it in the gallery? I don't see anybody. Any counselors? Yes, Counselor Hill, what would you like to say?
I was over to the rehabilitation home they did over on East 12th, and it's very close to the entrance. And the piles of junk are really encroaching into public view pretty significantly. I recall when I was younger, it used to be that you could drive by there and not really see anything. It was all contained well on the property. It would have no impact on neighboring homes, properties. Now there is actually it's almost like a wall on each side of the entranceway into the dump that is just stacked high with trash. So I would recommend that we leverage a little bit of our administrative power and use this to get that cleaned up. I think we have the ability to hold off on approving this until we see some action there. So I would ask that we don't move this any forward until we can get a commitment to have that taken care of. So, but that's obviously up to the rest of the council as well.
Whose ward is this in? Counselor Burge, would you like to chime in on this one?
Yeah, I just actually had a small conversation with Mr. Walker. I was gonna give him a call tomorrow. I think that's a great idea.
Yep.
I think, instead of just letting this go through now, why don't we wait and hold off
Yep.
on it? You clean up the.
Yeah, we have a little
Right
bit
now,
of.
we don't even know where the city property is, and there might be something going on with it right now that is supposed to be behind that fence line.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can speak to, Mr. McGann's not here, but Mr. McGann did contact our office at Public Works about a week ago. He has been over to speak with Mr. Gordon. He has started the process of cleaning it up. He's hired a contractor to clean up that mess going out toward the road. Trying to work out, it's not complete, but it has been started. Trying to work out something with getting some heavy fill in to possibly dress up the area so they can make it look better. So he is working towards it. Again, he's not done there, but Mr. McGann has been on him, so I just thought I'd pass that along.
Well, it's good to know. So given that information, how do you want to proceed, Counselor?
I still don't think it'll be a problem if we table it and allow them to finish it up and clean it up, and then we go from there.
Do we know when this license expires? I didn't see it in the packet. Do you know, since we have the city clerk here?
It's probably within the next month or so, but my question would be, we issued the license, so I don't know what the consequences are if he does not get the license, whether that's gonna have any effect on him. If he doesn't have a license, or is somebody gonna monitor what he's doing, tell him?
Well, as Counselor Hill pointed out, I mean, we do have some leverage here, and I would think that our codes department could cite them if we didn't approve this and the license did expire. So if you want to, do you want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we table this until we at least speak to codes and see what we got going on and figure out how we can move forward with it.
All right, then let's vote on tabling this item.
I'll
Please.
second it.
You second it? Okay, we've got, so please call the roll on this.
Counselor Coردino.
Yes to table.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes, to table.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes, to table.
Very good, that was the last item. Is there any unfinished business? Seeing none, please give me a motion to adjourn. Counselor Plunkett, Counselor Hill.
Counselor Coordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.